99% of the people just do the job. Only 1% creates magic. Today, we're gonna talk about how we create magic and we will share that secret sauce with all of you. Hi everyone, he is my partner Varun.
He is Arun.
And together we are Arun and Varun, the magic duo. We are the first magic duo in India and we are proud of it.
Today we welcome you all in this beautiful and magical session. So before talking about the secret behind creating magic, let's talk about what is magic.
And before we explain our definition of magic, we want all of you to take a moment and think about what is magic according to you.
What comes to your mind when you hear the term magic?
While you were thinking of magic, let us tell you this. We were delivering a virtual magic lecture to some kids of year 10 to 14 years of age. And we asked the exact same question. What is magic according to those kids?
And we got some interesting responses from them. Someone said taking a rabbit out of a hat is magic.
Somebody said making someone a pigeon is magic.
Someone said flying like a Superman is magic.
And a beautiful young girl said taking somebody out of their sadness and making them smile is magic.
That's right. So you see, what is that one thing that is common in all the answers? What we believe is that when something defies the laws of nature or science, or when something happens beyond the regular understanding of this world, then we call it as magic.
And I think that's right, because let's talk about this example. Falling off an apple on Einstein's head was magic for him because it had no explanation, no logic behind it back then.
But today we find it very common because we all know the laws of gravity, and today falling off an object no longer feels like magic. But what if? What if we can suspend the same object in mid-air? Now that becomes magic.
So the question is how to create magic, how to be in those 1%, because how to give someone is this feeling that they have seen magic or they have witnessed magic in your work.
So creation of a magic has simple 4 steps. Number 1 is think of the idea or the effect you want to create.
Second one is the logic part, the how part, the ways of achieving that effect or idea or impression.
Third one is creating hook with your audience.
Last but very important one is practice, practice and practice.
So let's now discuss all these 4 steps in detail.
So let's talk about the first one, where you think of the idea or effect or impression that you want to create. What is that feeling? You should always start with this question in your mind. What is that feeling that you want to leave your audience with?
Do you want to make them laugh, or do you want to make them surprised, or do you want to leave them with some food for thought? It's really important for you to visualize it first.
That's right. When we design a magic effect, we always start our process with that one question. What is that one astonishing moment that we want to create where everyone feels magic happening? And then rest of the trick gets built up automatically in that journey.
For example, in this levitation magic trick, first we visualize how the object will look like when it will be suspended in air. First, this is the thought we had in our mind before starting anything out. First, we thought of how the magic will look like in the point of view of audience and how they will react to it, how they will feel about it.
Yeah.
Once this was sorted, everything was just the process of building the structure according to our magic knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. Similarly, when you are doing anything like giving a presentation or working on a project or solving a problem for the masses, you should also start with this one question. What is that one heroic moment that you want to create? What is that magic that you want your audience to feel about? Always start with that. And trust us guys, rest everything else will fall in place automatically.
That's right, that's right. Now, moving on to the second step. The second step is the logic or the ways of creating your effect. It's the how part. How will you create your effect? It's really important for you to visualize it and access your knowledge around it.
Yeah, so whenever you are trying to solve a problem, the how part, the logic, when you're trying to build up a logic, you should always start by analyzing the resources and the knowledge that you have around that subject. If that knowledge and resources that you have are sufficient enough, then go for it, build it. But if you are falling short of knowledge and resources around that subject, then our suggestion is do a thorough research.
That's right, that's right. You can take help from others. You can find different possible ways of doing your effect or building your effect.
Yeah.
And once this was sorted, believe us guys, everything will be in just a matter of time. You will build your structure completely.
Absolutely.
But there is a catch in between. And the catch is never give up the process. Never give up the process of building your structure. Because as someone said, that creation of the Taj Mahal took more time than an ordinary building.
What a beautiful example, Varun. And I do agree that because you are creating the Taj Mahal, so it will take time. Have patience. So now you have the idea or impression that you want to create, you have the logic or you have done the research or you know how you will create that effect. The third question is, and the third step is, how to create that hook with your audience, the presentation part. There is a very famous research which on psychology which talks about if you do not have anything for your audience with which they can hook to, then you will lose their attention within first 5 minutes of your presentation itself.
That's right. Now the question is how to create that hook with your audience.
Yeah.
In the first 2-3 minutes of your presentation, give them something to think of. Give them to something through which they can relate to you.
Yeah.
Tell them a story, tell them your experience, or you can simply bribe them by saying that those who will remain till the end of your presentation will receive a treat from your side.
The bribe one is something which Varun uses very frequently. No, I'm just kidding. So the question is, how do you create that hook? And let's talk about few more examples. Like if you look at the social media, right? On social media, the content creator, whenever they're posting a video, they always say that watch the video till the end for the surprise. So what are they trying to do? They are trying to hook you. Even if you look at those creative thumbnails which are being used to pull the viewers, what is that? Again, a hook. So a hook is really important.
So what's the benefit of creating this hook with your audience? What's the use of creating this hook? Let us tell you an interesting incident that happened with us in last year. It was, I think, in November, Arun?
Yes, it was November, yeah.
So we were having this, we were performing for a corporate, and our next act was about something about mentalism.
Yeah.
And that's right, we can read mind also, we can read your mind also. So we called a girl on stage and we asked her to write down her crush name on a piece of paper.
And when she was done writing the name, then we started with our performance. We tried analyzing her body language, facial expression, and all other secret methods to figure out what was the name that she was thinking of. We spent at least 2 minutes on stage. We tried figuring out, but we got nothing out of her head. Guys, literally nothing out of her head.
And at that point of time, it was really embarrassing for us to stand there clueless, and the audience were waiting for us to do some magic, and we had nothing because we were really blank at that point of time.
Yeah.
So we asked that girl to tell us, we straightforward asked her to tell us the name she had written on that piece of paper. But she didn't say anything. She just opened that piece of paper and showed it to everybody.
Yeah. And then we went speechless. We were kind of shocked. We were surprised because we were blank. And then what we did, we looked at each other and we started laughing because that's the only thing we could do at that point in time. We were literally laughing on stage.
Because that was something that never ever happened with us in our entire magic career.
Right.
Do you know what she had written on that piece of paper?
Pause. Now at this moment, each one of you is curious to know what was written on that piece of paper. Now that's the power of storytelling. That's how you can hook somebody with your story and they will listen to you. You can make them feel what you want them to feel, and this is the power of creating a hook.
So imagine guys, if we can create this hook with you guys through this virtual mode, the presentation you are going to give to your audience and the hook that you will create with your audience, the impact will be huge. The impact will be massive. So don't underestimate the power of hook.
That's right. Now let's move on to the last step of creating magic. And we believe this is the most important one. And before we talk about the last step in detail, let's talk about this simple household puzzle, a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Do you know a 3x3 Rubik's Cube has 43 quintillion possibilities, which means 43 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 18. A huge number.
A very, very huge number. So every time we move any of its side, it becomes a new possibility. It becomes a new combination. So currently the world record of solving this cube is around 4.22 seconds. So you can imagine how complex this puzzle is, how difficult it is to solve this cube. But as we said, you can create magic with anything. With just a simple shake, you can create magic with this cube also.
And it looks magical to me, Varun. I mean, I have seen it thousands of times, but it still looks so magical. So there is a reason why we showed you a magic trick even before explaining the last step. Because the last step is practice, practice, and practice. What appears to be a simple cube solved with a simple shake, a simple magic, it's not simple. It has years of practice behind it.
I mean, I don't know the exact figures, but in past 1 year, I have solved this cube more than 100 times every day. So you can imagine it becomes more than 35,000 times in the past 1 year. So that's a huge number, huge practice.
I agree that, and I have seen Varun doing practice day in, day out just to get this effect right. Similarly, for a singer to master their musical notes, which we call sur in Hindi, it takes years of practice. For a comedian to deliver a joke perfectly, years of practice. So what we are trying to say here is everything requires a lot of practice before it reaches perfection and looks magical.
So if you want to create magic in your work, practice it day and night. Practice it like it becomes natural to you. Practice until you can't get it wrong.
That's right. So if we conclude, these are the 4 fundamental steps of creating magic. You have the idea effect, think about it, the logic part, creation of the hook, and then practice, practice, and practice. So next time, whenever you are creating anything, maybe you are creating a project or a PowerPoint presentation, or you are thinking of an idea as an entrepreneur, guys, try to implement these 4 steps and trust us, magic will happen.
Alright, so this brings us to the end of our discussion, and to conclude our talk, we would like to leave you with this one thought.
That if you want to be in those 1% of the people who are creating magic, then you will have to do those things which those 99% are not doing. Thank you so much. This is Arun and Varun.
The Magic Duo.
Believe in love.
Believe in magic, guys.
Thank you so much.